My name is Nathan Bruskin, and I have the privilege of serving as the awards chair for the Dartmouth Uniformed Service Alumni, better known as DUSA. I want to thank Bob Bauman, class of 1974, my colleague, and also Matt Hill, class of 2009 from the Guarini Institute, who are here also to present this prize. One of our missions is to recognize and celebrate the extraordinary contributions of Dartmouth veterans, men and women whose lives remind us that national security is not only noble, but necessary. We hope that their examples inspire future generations, including the students here today, to answer that same call. To that end, DUSA established the James Wright Award for Distinguished Service in honor of Dartmouth's 16th president, Dr. Jim Wright, historian, author, Marine. During his presidency from 1998 to 2009, Jim visited hundreds of wounded veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan, urging them to continue their chosen education. He was later asked by Congress to help draft the post-9/11 GI Bill and to create the Yellow Ribbon Program, two different initiatives that have since enabled tens of thousands of veterans, including many here at Dartmouth, to pursue higher education. This award, the James Wright Award for Distinguished Service, is the highest honor bestowed by the Dartmouth Uniformed Service alumni, and each year is presented to a member of the Dartmouth community who, over the course of a lifetime, has exemplified the ideals of service, college, and country. Service, a life defined by service beyond self. Recipients must have served honorably in one of these services, though their service need not be limited to the armed services. College, an enduring commitment to Dartmouth through alumni leadership, mentorship, or support for students in campus life. And country, a lifetime of distinguished service to our nation or community, advancing peace, freedom, opportunity, or health. Nominees may be Dartmouth alumni, faculty, or staff. This year, we're very proud to recognize two extraordinary alumni. It's my privilege to present the first of these honors, the 2024 James Wright Award for Distinguished Service to Thomas E. Byrne III, Dartmouth class of 1955 and Tuck class of 1956. Before we do, I want to say how gratifying it is to me personally that the committee chose to honor Tom. He was a very special person to me. When I was a young naval officer stationed on a ship in Japan, about as far from Hanover as one can get without leaving Earth, I reached out to the alumni community for advice and mentorship, and Tom was the one who answered. Together, working on opposite sides of the world, we founded the Dartmouth Uniformed Service Alumni. I'd call him late at night, and he'd answer those calls early in the morning, serving me as my agent here in Hanover. Tom had the most infectious smile. When he'd cock his head and steeple his hands, it would look like he was thinking of a good answer, but more often he was considering whether to tell an amusing, if off-topic story. He could never end a phone call. He radiated optimism. Even after a long, blessed life, he was certain that the best days still lay ahead. Without Tom, there'd be no DUSA. Without DUSA, there'd be far fewer veterans at Dartmouth. Sadly, Tom is no longer with us. When he retired to Georgia, we kept less in touch. And I learned of his passing only when we reviewed this year's nominations. Reading his obituary, I realized that I missed his celebration of life, held right here on campus this past June, at the very same time that I was here for my class reunion. I wish I had known. I wish I could have been there to tell his family how much he meant to me, to us. But I'm profoundly grateful that the committee chose to honor Tom, our Tom, so that I could have this second chance in the presence of his family here today to do that again. And with that, attention to award.
The Dartmouth Uniformed Service Alumni presents the 2024 James Wright Award for Distinguished Service to Thomas E. Byrne III, class of 1955, Tuck School of Business, class of 1956, and the United States Air Force. It would take a rare man indeed to give so much of himself to Dartmouth College and to the town that surrounds it. For more than 7 decades, Thomas Edward Byrne III, known simply and affectionately as Tom, devoted his life, his energy, and his remarkable talents to both. Few have done more to strengthen the ties between the college on the hill and the community beneath it. Tom entered Dartmouth in 1951 through the combined undergraduate and Tuck business program, and, upon earning his degrees, answered his nation's call to serve as a U.S. Air Force pilot during the tense years of the Cold War. When his service concluded, there was little doubt where his compass pointed: north to Hanover. Back to the place and the people he loved most. For more than 30 years, Tom poured his intellect and passion into the college itself, shaping its modern identity through key roles in the creation and management of the Hopkins Center for the Arts and the Kiewit Computing Center, 2 landmarks symbolizing Dartmouth's enduring blend of tradition and innovation. After retiring from college service, Tom's dedication to the public good only deepened. As general manager of the Hanover Improvement Society, he guided a new era of civic renewal and community spirit. Under his leadership, the Nugget Theater sparkled anew. Storrs Pond and Campion Rink flourished, and the Hanover Parking Garage, Howe Library expansion, and community center all came to life. Each project bore his signature: practical in purpose, generous in vision, and rooted in love for Hanover and its people. Tom was no stranger to rolling up his sleeves, whether coaching youth basketball, serving with the recreation department, or mentoring those who would carry his spirit forward. Ever the servant leader, he sought not recognition, but results. Yet, recognition found him nonetheless. As a founder and charter member of the Dartmouth Uniformed Service Alumni, he built yet another bridge between the college and those who served under its banner in uniform. It was one of his proudest achievements. Tom Byrne embodied the best of Dartmouth and of America: devotion to service, quiet excellence, and enduring fidelity to community and country. For a life so fully lived in the service of others, we present our highest honor, the James Wright Award for Distinguished Service.
Welcome, Tom's family here. Before we present our next award, I want to express how grateful I am a member of Colonel Gish's family is here today. Though I never had the honor of meeting Mike in person before he passed, I feel a profound sense of who he is through his art. His paintings seem to hold the same spirit that guided his life: disciplined, brave, and endlessly curious. I'm glad we were able to share, although I haven't seen them yet, so many in his slideshow here today. With that, attention to award.
Good morning. Just a quick observation by myself. I'm Matt Hill, Marine officer. I've served over 35 years. And in preparing this award and serving on the board, I have to say I found that I barely fit in this man's, I don't even fit in this man's shadow. So without further ado, so the Dartmouth Uniformed Service Alumni, we're presenting the 2025 James Wright Award for Distinguished Service to Colonel Peter Mike Gish, United States Marine Corps, class of 1949. And if ever the phrase Renaissance man found its true embodiment, it would be in Colonel Gish. He wielded a brush and a sword for his country for just many, many years. For more than 75 years, Gish was a passionate artist. And for over half a century, he was a Marine Corps officer. I'll let some of the younger service members here have that settled in. Half a century of service. In both callings, he remained faithful to the Corps and ever loyal to Dartmouth. His first arrival on campus was in 1943 as a Navy NROTC Victor V aviation student. He left a year later to complete his flight training after his brother was a PFC, was killed fighting in Saipan. Gish then earned his aviation wings and became a Marine aviator in 1946. And then at that point the war was over, he returned to Hanover and finished his degree in fine arts. His creative genius was quickly recognized. He won the 1948 Dartmouth Winter Carnival poster. It's a well-loved poster. You'll see it here. It's two co-eds by the fire, and the reflection. It's quite nice. It's still a favorite today. And at the same time, his 1948 portrait of a Dartmouth English professor still graces the walls at Sanborn House. So you can see it. It's quite impressionistic. All right, it's a fantastic painting. Gish graduated in 1949, and he pursued art until once again his country called him. During the Korean War, he served on active duty with Marine Air Group 33 as a pilot, instructor, and painter. He captured during this time, he captured the human face of conflict, as he would in many years to come during his free hours. After the war, he resumed his studies in Europe, learning fine art from many great artists, and then earning a MFA from Yale in 1964. All of this, he found time to command Helicopter Squadron Medium 768. So he certainly found some time for that. In 1967, Lieutenant Colonel Gish once more returned to active duty, this time to Vietnam as a combat artist. During this time, his tours in Vietnam, he found time to serve 24 active combat missions and recording the daily courage of Marines and the people of Vietnam. In 1971, he joined the faculty of Fairfield University, where he taught art for decades and inspired generations of students. Among his many portraits, those of Dartmouth professors include his close friend, fellow Marine, President James Wright, and their shared bond of service helped rekindle Dartmouth's deep commitment to veterans, and it's a legacy that endures today. He really sparked a lot of what James Wright went on to do with the Distinguished Service Award. Even into his later years, Colonel Peter Mike Gish, his sense of duty never dimmed. At 65, he deployed to northern Iraq to protect Kurdish refugees. As an artist, and then at 67, the Marine Corps reactivated and deployed him to Somalia as a combat artist. And the records during this time indicate that at this advanced age, he still pulled his weight on combat patrols. It's something to think about. At 67, he's pulling combat patrols in Somalia with the Marines. Throughout his life, Mike Gish has given of himself to Dartmouth through the Friends of the Skiway. He was a very strong supporter of the Skiway, Friends of Skating, Dartmouth Skating, and through support for veterans long before DUSA, Dartmouth Uniformed Services Association, was born. He supported veterans. In every way, he has exemplified the Dartmouth ideal of service, undaunted, creative, and compassionate. Always faithful, always loyal, and always an artist of the soul and a servant of the Republic. For his lifetime of distinguished service to country and to Dartmouth, we present our highest honor, the James Wright Award for Distinguished Service.
Yeah.
And to receive, here's Peter Gish, the son of Colonel Gish. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. All right.
If you have anything to say, I would like to say, however, in prologue, on the 3rd of March, 2024, Colonel Gish deployed to the pearly gates. He was called beyond, and he's welcomed by his fellow Marines, Jim Wright and many others, and they welcomed him aboard and said, "Hey, congratulations, new guy. You got duty tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.